Words. Words break reality into pieces, creating illusions of isolated things out of an actual singularity. Ideas behind words take on a significance of their own. Volume 5 pieces expose words and ideas as artificial, to reveal the interrelated oneness, which is the essence of the reality you encounter. Ritual. Exactly why do people, pretty much all of them, you included, perform rituals? Let's take a deep, revealing look behind the scenes at rituals. The Essence of Reality explores how the psyche which you are creates the reality you encounter. Yo-ho, you found the Essence of Reality, a unique look at how life actually works. Here you're presented a view beyond standard thinking to see how you attract and thus create your own life. It's all about awareness here, seeing life clearly, and that is only ever diminished by standard beliefs and common notions. We do have much to cover, so enjoy this and explore other episodes. My quest in Volume 5 here is to expose aspects of words and ideas that create illusions in the mind, false impressions that deceive as to what their real essence is. Ultimately, such deceptions lead to real issues in life. Episode 55 here looks at notions and engaged practices that have been carried out for ages, some religious, some superstitious, although I have to say I see no detectable boundary between religion and superstition. In any case, let's look at rituals, long-standing traditional procedures that are supposed to what? Why do people perform rituals? To appease gods? To influence the flow of life? Actually, there's one and only one reason why people perform stock rituals. If it isn't obvious to you now, it will be by the time I'm finished. Tom Nair here. I speak from a unique standpoint. I've spent years clearing away deceiving ideas to achieve what I call clear awareness. Life works well when you see that you alone drive yours. So these videos are intended only to help you see past common misconceptions, to recognize how life actually works, and oh, what misconceptions are tied up in religious rituals. I remember one time while living in Munich, I had gotten to know a Brit who was music director at one of the large cathedrals there. He suggested I would enjoy the Mendelssohn Mass his church ensemble was to perform, so I went to watch it. Well, the small ensemble of musicians and choir were located in the balcony above the back of the nave, the main seating section. As the music began and proceeded, a priest or his helper, some official in a fancy costume, started rocking a smoke pot, a thurible they call it, puffing out burned incense. The smoke, fairly thick, started wafting upwards. Heat rises, of course, divine intervention notwithstanding, and soon headed back and up to where the choir and musicians were performing. In short order, the elevated platform was surrounded in pungent smoke, and the woodwind players, along with the singers, started choking. I got a kick out of it, though. I suspect most didn't, particularly not the musicians. Burning of incense in this fashion is a fairly common ritual in various religions. In Christianity, it's supposed to symbolize raising prayer to heaven as the smoke wafts upward. Heaven, of course, in ancient times was supposed to be up there, beyond the firmament. The notion was never upgraded when sometime in the 17th century the church had to admit that their cosmology was dead wrong, and about that time began to shift their deity into some invisible dimension. In Buddhism and Taoism, incense burning is supposed to purify the surroundings, bringing forth positive spiritual entities and such. How smoke can purify anything is a bit strange, but I guess such things are supposed to be mysterious and one isn't supposed to ask. I suppose the practice and its underlying intent goes way, way back to truly ancient notions of purity, when foul-smelling places were thought to harbor evil spirits. And back then, at least since the age of agriculture with sedentary communities and no waste treatment, little water, plenty of animals, and infrequent bathing, there would have been an abundance of foul-smelling places. The general thought was sweet fragrances covering over any resident's stench would ward off the demons. That's like another ancient ritual of anointment with oil. Same point, the sweet fragrance of oil warding off the evil-smelling omens that likely spewed from the bodies of people who didn't bathe very frequently, or nearby dumping areas that didn't have any means of treating decaying matter. In any case, religious rituals abound. Catholics go through introductory rites to encourage humility and thoughts about their ever-present sins. They have the liturgy of the Eucharist with prayer and communion. Eucharist is a sacrament, one of several supposed to confer grace on believers with faith in their imagined deity. Add to those things various ritualistic recitations, the Apostles' Creed, Hail Mary, the Glory Be, lots of dull-witted repetitions meant to keep the minions programmed, mystified, and unquestioning. Of course, Jewish rituals abound as well. At Rosh Hashanah, they sound a ram's horn to celebrate the new year. At Pesach, or Passover, they refrain from eating leavened bread. That in remembrance of the escape from Egypt, when they left in a hurry and didn't have time to let their bread raise. There's Yom Kippur, also a day of atonement. In Jewish lore, if you commit a sin, something Yahweh God has proclaimed inappropriate, you're supposed to do something to atone for it, make up for it. Lots of rituals, far too many to cover. Should mention, though, Islam with its own rituals. Almsgiving is one of Islam's 5 pillars. Daily prayer and a hajj, a trip to Mecca, or 2 more. Oh, and fasting during Ramadan, at least during the daytime. Hindu rituals vary from region to region, village to village, even individual to individual. It's a traditional thing, and different groups have different traditions. These Eastern rituals may include sacrifices and offerings, even added gestures to assure purity, and of course, burning incense. During daily baths, people may make offerings of a little water in memory of ancestors. At each meal, families may set aside a handful of grain to be donated to beggars. Well, I could certainly go on and on. People carry out rituals galore, even outside religion. In sports, baseball players may eat certain meals or wear a special pair of cleats thinking these help their performance. A basketball coach may wear the same suit during the season as a sort of ritual. Hockey players don't shave during the playoffs. By now you get the point. You may have your own little rituals, little routines beyond simple habits that you do regularly for a purpose. They're supposed to cause success or cue good luck, something like that. Funny thing about rituals, though, especially in long-standing religious practices, sometimes the purpose gets lost. People just keep doing the ritual centuries later because, well, why people continue such practices, that's the point here. Did you figure it out yet? Remember, the purpose is almost always declared that a particular ritual is imagined to influence reality, to positively affect the outcome of things. Religious rituals in particular harken back to practices meant to influence the gods, to get them to grant positive events, health, crop growth, finding a proper mate. Many of the oldest rituals grew from times when diverse gods were thought to cause important things in life. Or not. The ritual was meant to bribe the deity in really primitive thinking into having him or her grant one's desire. In reality, of course, rituals have no And I quickly repeat, absolutely no inherent value in life whatsoever. Of course, they don't influence the gods or a god because no such entities exist. Reality itself does not care a hoot for such silly rituals. Now, the only positive value in a ritual is in a sort of a backward, left-handed kind of self-fulfillment. If you strongly believe in the ritual and the need for it, it might seem to work, might boost your performance. But that's just misplaced assignment of causality. If you succeed, it was you that did it, not the silly ritual. Your best bet is to eliminate both the belief and the need for the ritual, because the overwhelming effect is negative. In carrying out a ritual, any of them, you personally transfer creative power, either to the God notion or to the action the ritual incorporates. When you do that, you render yourself, in your own self-image, powerless. That is, you make use of your own creative power to neutralize your own creative power. Rituals have one other positive to them. If you happen to be a priest or functionary in some other religion, they help you keep your dull-witted, duped congregation in line and keep your own job secure. Most people haven't the acumen to question the ritual and the whole phony religion. So the esoteric gesture, the incense, the seasonal practice, the fancy robe, all this spiritual looking fluff and silliness keeps the religious sucker in line and the priest's cushy job intact. For me, rituals are really, really silly and self-defeating. People do them, not because of any of the given reasons of the religious or esoteric practice. People carry out rituals solely because someone told them to, someone they hold as authorities. There is no value to any ritual. Fasting, burning incense, taking communion, or growing a beard during the playoffs, you name it, whatever the ritual you value. I'm here to tell you that it is totally worthless. Let's look at rituals, long-standing traditional procedures that are supposed to what? Why do people perform rituals? Burning of incense, in Christianity, it's supposed to symbolize raising prayer to heaven. In Buddhism and Taoism, incense burning is supposed to purify the surroundings. How smoke can purify anything is a bit strange, but I guess such things are supposed to be mysterious. The general thought was sweet fragrances covering over any resident's stench would ward off the demons. Religious rituals abound. Catholics go through the liturgy of the Eucharist, the Apostles' Creed, Hail Mary, Glory Be, lots of dull-witted repetitions. Jewish rituals abound as well. Rosh Hashanah, Pesach or Passover, Yom Kippur, lots of rituals, far too many to cover. Islam has its rituals too. Almsgiving, daily prayer, and a Hajj, a trip to Mecca, fasting during Ramadan. People carry out rituals galore, even outside religion. Why people continue such practices, that's the point here. People carry out rituals solely because someone told them to, someone they hold as authorities. Fasting, burning incense, taking communion, or growing a beard during the playoffs, rituals have absolutely no inherent value in life whatsoever. If you succeed, it was you that did it, not the silly ritual.